So here we are at the end of 2020. It has been a crazy, unpredictable year to say the least. And whether it's been one of the worst years of your life or some things actually have been surprisingly good, it's time to start preparing for 2021. Now, as you can see in today's video, I'm going to be talking about setting financial goals for 2021. And before you roll your eyes and you think, I'm not into the new year, new me, I'm not into that either, so that's not what this video is about. I don't really believe in advocating to set goals that you can't achieve or are unsustainable, so this video is practical. I will first talk about some considerations that you should consider before you set your goals, and then I'll talk about some financial goals that you could personally implement for 2021. Now, of course, when it comes to goal setting, it is very personal and unique to each person, so everything that I discuss today may not suit you, but the principles are the same and you can apply these to your goals. So let's get to business and start off with some considerations before you set your goals. The first thing that I would say is to avoid New Year's resolution type goals. So it's not helpful to set goals that require a huge lifestyle change. So as I was saying earlier, that new year, new me approach isn't really useful or effective because a lot of times it requires changing something drastically. So for instance, if you have a new year goal of getting up 3 hours earlier every day, that is probably likely to burn out pretty quickly. So you may do it all of January, but by February you may have given up and therefore it wasn't sustainable. The better thing to do is set a goal that is in reach and then to gradually increase that goal. So for that waking up early example, instead of jumping straight to waking up 3 hours earlier each day, you may start with waking up 30 minutes earlier and then eventually an hour earlier, an hour and a half, and so on and so forth. The second thing is to consider quality over quantity. It is much better to have 2 to 3 strong goals that are meaningful to your life and that will have an impact than to have a long list of goals just for the sake of filling up a paper and feeling like you have a lot of goals to achieve. Quality goals are goals that you are passionate about, so something that you've been wanting to do for a while or something that you are really interested in, or if it's not something that you're passionate about, then it's something that would be really impactful in your life. The third thing is to set at least one goal that you have already partially achieved. Now, I know this one is technically kind of cheating, but if you're like me and you write checklists and you write a few things on your checklist that you have already done or partially achieved just so that you can check them off or tick them off quicker, then this consideration is definitely for you. My reasoning behind this consideration is all about the psychology. So it's about getting yourself motivated and giving yourself the confidence that you are able to achieve your goals. And once you've successfully achieved one goal, it kind of gives you that burst of energy and momentum to keep going with the rest of your goals. Apologies if the camera angle is a bit different. I had a bit of a situation. But let's pick back up. Now I'm going to go through some specific financial goals that you could apply to your life. Now, it's important that you would tailor them according to your needs if you decide to take one of these goals. But of course, this is not an exhaustive list. There are lots more different financial goals that you can consider, and there are even some online. I will link some below down in the description. But here are a few that you could consider for yourself. So the first one is to start off your year reading one financial book. Now, 2020 has been a year for me where I've read a lot of financial books. I tried not to read more than one a month though, because I don't want to overload myself with information. It's good to read and then kind of digest it afterwards. So I think setting a goal to read one book to start off your year can be a great way to get your financial mindset right and for you to even consider other goals that you may want to achieve throughout 2021. Second thing is to set up your budget for the first 3 months of the year. So if you do a monthly budget currently and things don't change month to month, then you essentially have 3 months worth of a budget set. But if you have certain variations, like expenses change month to month or income may fluctuate, then I would recommend doing a 3-month budget. as this will give you momentum to set up longer term budgets. And although a monthly budget is a good place to start, the goal eventually should be to get to a 6-monthly budget or a yearly budget. And the reason for this is because it allows you to plan for future events even more. So if you know that 6 months from now an income may change or expenses may change, when you have a yearly budget you're able to account for these things, so nothing really would catch you off guard. The next thing is to write down your primary financial strategy or strategies for the year. So is your focus for the next year to clear out debt? And if so, how much are you clearing and how are you doing this? Maybe your goal is to save an emergency fund, and if so, how much do you need in an emergency fund and how much is required for you to save per month? Is your goal to focus on investing for 2021, and if so, where are you investing? What kind of funds or stocks will you be investing in? Or are you saving for a big event like a wedding or buying a house? And if so, what's the plan? How much do you need to save per month to get there? And if you are, for instance, buying a house and you're in the UK, are you making use of the programs or the schemes that are available to first-time buyers, for instance? The fourth thing is to find your person for money motivation. Now, of course, this is a bit of a shameless plug. If you're watching my videos, then maybe I'm a person that you consider to give you money motivation. But there are lots of people, of course, online. There's lots of people who write articles or do YouTube videos and even sometimes on TV. So it's really good to find someone who focuses on finances so that you are able to look at them throughout the year. So if they have Twitter or Instagram, for instance, you may follow this person and throughout the year they're posting a thing about finances, and it's just that little check in your mind that you need to think, oh yeah, I need to save that money, or oh yeah, I said I was gonna pay off that debt. So it's good for motivation, but it's also good for you to check where you're at. And the last thing is to set a monthly reminder to assess your finances. By taking time each month to assess where you are at financially, it's a great way for you to assess how you are progressing with your goals. Have you made progress? Have you not made any progress at all? Sometimes things need to change, and that's perfectly fine. You are able to shift your goals. So if something that was relevant to you at the beginning of the year is no longer relevant to you in the middle of the year, then maybe it's time to shift and change that goal. And when you do this monthly assessment, it's not all about scorning yourself or thinking, oh wow, I'm so far away from what I wanted to achieve. It's also about encouraging yourself and giving yourself a pat on the back for the things that you have achieved. Now, as I said, this isn't an exhaustive list by any means. I really wanted to discuss some generic ones so that people can apply them and alter them according to their own life. So if you haven't done your goals yet and you've made it to this point of the video, then I really hope that there's been a thing or two that you can use when you are setting your own goals. Now, as always, thank you so much for your support on this channel. Thank you for taking the time to engage with me. I really do love it, and I'm excited to see the growth that this channel has made in such a short amount of time. I'm excited for what's to come in 2021, and I look forward to seeing you on the flip side.